Let's talk about Lockwood Co, Netflix's latest fright fest based on the supernatural series of novels by Jonathan Stroud. This adaptation has been brought to life by Joe Cornish, whose directorial debut came with another London set piece featuring a cast of young stars attack the block. However, a major key to Lockwood Co's energy springs from Cornish's writing traits, which have in the past entwined with Edgar Wright's razor-sharp penmanship. More on that soon, as I'm going to discuss my overall analysis and personal feelings of this first season of Lockwood Co, which means there will be major spoilers ahead for those who haven't seen it. And just as a heads up, I haven't read any of the books, so my thoughts are based solely on the Netflix show. I thought you ought to know. Jumping straight back into that sharpness in the writing department area, my lord did this show deliver for me. I will clarify that it isn't just Cornish's efforts which shone here, as other writers include Joy Wilkinson, Cara Smith and Ed Heim, with additional directing from William McGregor and Catherine Morsehead. Though Cornish developed the series and you can really sense his fingerprints on this one, the dialogue and character relations here are witty and snappy, with countless punches thrown in the interactions here. It has that quintessential British refinement to it, where humour, sarcasm and a bit of badassery are blended, giving me similar vibes to other supernatural shows with young casts, such as Misfits and Being Human. Those shows really helped push the careers of several actors, and when it comes to Lockwood Co, this young cast absolutely won me over with how they carried themselves here. So let's discuss the overall plot of the show for some context. Who are Lockwood Co? They're an independent agency who carries out paranormal investigation. In the world of the show, ghosts aren't a secret thing that people don't believe in. They're just a part of the world that everyone knows about since hauntings began in England during a time referred to as the Problem. The effects of the Problem are still felt today, and there are even curfews on a night time for people to get to safety before the ghosts emerge at their most powerful. However, a brilliant element to this world is the fact that there are multiple agencies who carry out these ghost protection services, ranging from the elite tier agencies like Fitz or Rotwell, all the way down to lower tier agencies and independents like Lockwood Co. The Lockwood in question is Anthony, an extremely talented rogue agent who wants to make a stand against the agency pyramid and do his own thing. He adores winning and over the series presents himself as being addicted to the limelight. I found Lockwood to be such a rich character, a young man with a dark secret past who at times can be a complete bellend to people, yet he equally possesses a hell of a lot of likability and charm to balance things out. He's played tremendously by Cameron Chapman, and honestly I expect some good jobs to come his way in future off the back of this show. Despite being so young, he has this sort of age in his eyes, being able to express himself hauntingly, whereby I became engrossed in him, appreciating full well that he has a lot of skeletons in his closet. There's something about him that reminded me of Dream in The Sandman or Matt Smith as the Doctor, where despite appearing youthful, I could sense the shadows that pursue him, and that he is fundamentally troubled, yet is also able to be whimsical in order to compensate for that. A really solid head of the agency. However, the real star of the show here for me, with a breakout performance, is Ruby Stokes as Lucy Carlyle. Though I have seen Stokes in some of her previous works, her performance as Lucy felt so wonderfully complete to me, where she took the opportunity at her feet and ran 100 miles an hour with it. So further context, in this world, people are born either with or without talent, which refers to the ability to connect with the spirit world, either from being able to see spiritual entities, hear them, connect with them through touch, or a combination of the above. But the older you get, the more your talent fades away, hence why younger people go about joining agencies. Despite being immensely talented, Lucy is neglected and betrayed by her former employer, leading to her best friend's death, and so she heads to London in order to find work, winding up joining Lockwood Co. Ruby Stokes nailed this role. She was so captivating, and the tumultuous relationship between her and Lockwood, you know, that ever fluctuating will they, won't they, love me, hate me bond commonly found in young adult content, content, it was able to hook me in from episode 1. They're able to rub each other up the wrong way and occasionally the right way, and I did thoroughly enjoy the on-screen chemistry between Stokes and Chapman. They had quite a doctor and companion dynamic to them which I approved of. It would be unfair of me not to mention George Karim, who had his name changed from the book version of George Cubbins. He is the third and final member of Lockwood Co, who despite possessing talent is more of a bookworm, getting his head down and being the agency's researcher. He's played here by Ali Haji Heshmati and is a fun, lovable nerd character. The dynamic between George and Lockwood, George and Lucy, Lockwood and Lucy, and the three of them together all leads to a variety of interactions where every pairing is strong. There was one scene that irritated the life out of me though, where the agency get a job containing a really old powerful ghost in a notorious graveyard. Yet after containing it, you know, they've done the job they're getting paid for, George, the idiot, partially uncontains it on purpose, and then fully uncontains it by accident with his foot. I get that he saw something within the grave he wanted a better look at, but come on mate, this was a really silly action for the guy considered to be the brains of the agency. And if it weren't for Lucy's involvement, it would have cost them the job, or even worse, unleashed this powerful ghost on London. It just felt noticeably out of place. The item in the grave George wanted to look at was a mirror, which ties into the overarching mystery narrative of the show, something which I really enjoyed. I kind of felt like the show got to a point where it was feeling more contained episodically, yet there is a thread which runs through every episode and ties everything together, which was really cool and meant that every part of the series mattered. But yes, referring to the mirror again anyway, it's a source for a powerful ghost, and again, this part of the world building was fascinating to me. Ghosts gain their power from a source, a physical item like a mirror or a ring for example, which must either be destroyed or contained within something silver-lined. Plus, iron and salt are also used to fend off ghosts in the forms of flares, chains, and rapiers which agents carry around with them. This was one of the coolest concepts in the show for me, the idea that elements create barriers to be used both offensively and defensively against ghosts. And to go one step further, the idea that people go around stealing and auctioning off powerful sources in secret societies only enriched the world to me. It feels like an ecosystem where there are entire cultures surrounding ghosts. I became so attached to how the world works, and all the interconnecting moving cogs just made me find myself on multiple occasions getting a real buzz from how much fun I was having. But it wasn't like daft, silly fun, it had a sense of being grounded to me, where the rules and consequences to things were explored. On their first mission that we see, Lockwood and Lucy burn down their client's house while tackling a Type 2 ghost, and usually that'd be the end of it. Yet here, there are consequences. They have to pay up 60 grand for the damages to the property or they'll get shut down by DPRAC, an organisation who monitor the agencies and make sure they're following the guidelines. Everyone has rules and policies to follow, like you actually get to witness the legal implications to what goes on. You even see Lockwood having to sign paperwork in order to receive payment for his work. The attention to detail here in regards to these otherwise often overlooked elements just kept me invested in the world it formed. I won't lie though, as the series went on, that magic I felt earlier on in the series did begin to fade a little bit, much like talent. It was still fun in the back half of the series, but it did kind of dwindle a little bit, and the heel turns of Pamela and Penelope Fitz weren't necessarily mind-blowing or unexpected. The show does end in a sort of slapdash way, but it didn't necessarily bother me. I'd say the elements I enjoyed the most were learning about the functionality of the world, seeing Lockwood and Co finding their feet, and then being excited for where the show will head next. But the actual resolution to the season 1 mystery arc, I could take it or leave it. I enjoyed myself and wasn't too bothered about what the impact of that mystery was in the end, which incidentally was just a bit more CGI ghostliness. That's not a par by the way, as the CGI here was solid, plus the action sequences, especially any of the sword dueling scenes, were awesome to watch, and the overall world design and London setting were easy to get behind for me. I think Lockwood & Co.'s strengths lie in its characters and the dialogue, while the plot itself certainly had its peaks and troughs, though not to an extent where it soured the taste or nullified my enjoyment of the show. I'd be happy to watch it again, and I look look forward to a season 2. But that's just my non-expert opinion, with my words being yours to interpret. So if you agree or disagree with anything I've said, or just want to share what you thought of season 1 of Lockwood Co, please do chuck them down in the comments below. And as always, if you appreciated this video, a cheeky sub would be much appreciated to help us out. I've been Connor from Unleash the Ghouls, and cheers out.